You guys had some really important reporting today that I want to talk about. This was from the great Aaron Sabarium, another reporter that people absolutely need to be following over at the Washington Free Beacon, and talked about this a bit on Megan's show today because it's such a significant piece of reporting, Eliana. But the headline here is exclusive: FBI investigating social media accounts that appear to indicate foreknowledge of Kirk assassination. We're going to put some of these up on the screen. Eliana, my position on these is that if it was one post, if it was maybe two posts, you can kind of just chalk it more easily up to coincidence, up to trolls messing around with a high-profile speaker. But tell us a little bit about what Aaron found in this story.
Sure. And I want to, I think important to say as background that just because the FBI is investigating something doesn't mean we know anything beyond that. So we know that the FBI is investigating social media posts by at least 7 different accounts that appeared to indicate that they had foreknowledge of the Kirk assassination. And the accounts appear to be associated with either transgender individuals or transgender internet subcultures and gamer memes. I have to admit that I'm not particularly familiar with some of these, meme gaming subcultures, but that is what this appears to be. And we do know that the FBI is investigating this. So that appears to be where this investigation is going, looking at who knew what before this assassination took place and who was messaging whom on this Discord platform. It also appears that some of these accounts followed or were in contact with this roommate and romantic partner of Tyler Robinson, the alleged assassin, and those two appeared to be part of this furry subculture. I also was not familiar with what a furry was, but it apparently is people who wear these animal costumes. So it seems that this is where this is headed.
I'm enormously surprised, Eliana, to hear that you were not deeply familiar with furry culture, but I'm actually glad to hear that. So let's play a little bit here of Stephen Miller talking about a potential organized campaign or potential organized campaigns in general that may become the target of the government. And I just want to say, underscoring what Eliana pointed out, is we don't actually know. Right now, we can't verify anything. What we can do is say that when you have posts like Charlie Kirk is coming to my college tomorrow, I really hope someone evaporates him literally on September 9th. And then another one, a follow-up saying, let's just say something big will happen tomorrow. And then posts like this one is, we effing did it. This is after it happened. A post like September 10th will be a very interesting day. Someone saying it'd be funny if someone like Charlie Kirk got shot on September 10th, LMAO, and you have, that's just a sampling. When you have that combined with at least what looks like a 22-year-old shooter who pulled off a tragedy and a horrific act, but seemingly on their own, as of right now, in a somewhat unbelievable way. These are questions that are obviously worth asking. So let's go ahead here and roll S2, Stephen Miller.
There's incredible sadness, but there's incredible anger. And the thing about anger is that unfocused anger or blind rage is not a productive emotion.
Right.
But focused anger, righteous anger, directed for a just cause is one of the most important agents of change in human history.
Charlie showed that. Amen.
And we are going to channel all of the anger that we have over the organized campaign that led to this assassination to uproot and dismantle these terrorist networks. The organized doxing campaigns, the organized riots, the organized street violence, the organized campaigns of dehumanization, vilification, posting people's addresses, combining that with messaging that's designed to trigger and incite violence, and the actual organized cells that carry out and facilitate the violence. It is a vast domestic terror movement. And with God as my witness, we are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks and make America safe again for the American people.
So Vice President Vance took the microphone for the Charlie Kirk show today and did it as a tribute to Charlie Kirk. That was Stephen Miller saying that he wants to disrupt terrorist networks that led directly, as he says it, to this crime. That could mean a lot of different things. But Eliana, let me ask you, based on what you guys are reporting and what you've heard and how you analyze the situation, what might that look like? Just in terms of, let's start with the investigation as of right now.
I'm not sure because I still think there's a lot we don't know about what actually transpired here. To the extent that there are underground networks looking to foment domestic political violence in this country, the FBI should be involved in disrupting, disarming, and ensuring that no event like the one that took place last week ever happens again. But it does seem to me like the picture of what happened to Charlie Kirk is still unclear, at least to me. There's a lot we don't know, and it seems like it will still be a while before the full picture becomes clear. As of this afternoon, the suspect himself was not talking, and it does seem like there's quite a bit that it will take authorities, another couple weeks, a month to put this whole thing together. I do think tomorrow morning, when he's indicted in court, we'll learn a bit more about what happened here when that is unsealed.
Yeah, important point. The Washington Post also got an exclusive. It was this afternoon. The suspect in the Charlie Kirk shooting, this is their headline, appeared to confess in a Discord chat. Quote, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." Now, in another Discord chat, we already know Robinson, the alleged suspect here, was blaming a doppelganger, sort of trollishly, apparently blaming a doppelganger, but not talking right now. We've heard the roommate, or the lover is probably the better way to put it in this situation, from what we know right now, is cooperating, but then there's also a question of a potentially deleted message from Robinson that may have functioned as a confession. So, Eliana, there was a semaphore story about...
One thing I think that I do think we do know is that Robinson and his roommate, that these were Discord messages, which is like a not super common messaging platform, encrypted end to end, that they were clearly heavily involved online in relatively obscure sort of, gaming and meme type things. And we're pretty far down the rabbit hole in these things, which I think is noteworthy for young men. And the other noteworthy thing about the Washington Free Beacon story that we have up today about these 7 online accounts and the messages that the FBI is investigating is that they were all deleted in the wake of the murder. So it does involve people who are trying to cover up or remove evidence of what they were saying after this happened. So all of this involves, online platforms and, obscure internet subcultures.
Yeah, important point. And obviously there are legal ramifications that could come of all of that.
Yeah, and add to that, by the way, the etchings on the bullet that in some of these obscure sort of signs, symbols, messages, and like a picture does start to come together, but I still think that there's a lot we don't know.
Yes. And I actually think the same still applies to the Minneapolis shooting, where, again, you're trying to peel back the layers of irony and deep online gaming culture. And what you know is that it's people who are in the fringes of society. That much is clear. And they're not conservative by any means whatsoever. So that much is abundantly obvious at this point in the case of Tyler Robinson and in the case of the shooter in Minneapolis. But piecing together, I think, the puzzle of how people end up going down these dark rabbit holes is an important one going forward for parents, but also probably for regulators as well. Recently, I learned about colostrum. Have you heard about colostrum? I always want to do a Trump impression when I'm talking about, known as liquid gold that babies receive from their mothers after birth. It's packed with proteins, natural growth factors, antimicrobial peptides that work to enhance your immune response, reduce inflammation, repair and balance gut lining, reduce bloating, and make your hair and skin look amazing. Today's sponsor, Cowboy Colostrum, offers the highest quality cow colostrum. Highest quality cow colostrum available in the U.S., 100% made in America from 100% American grass-fed cows. They're the best cows, folks. They don't overprocess or strip their colostrum, leaving it whole, full fat, and high protein for ultimate nutrient density. It is the highest quality bovine colostrum you can buy, and it's easy to drink, made with delicious natural ingredients and no artificial flavors. It really is easy to drink. Simply add a 3 gram scoop of either the chocolate, Madagascar vanilla, or strawberry in your coffee or smoothie, or actually even in milk. It's really tasty. For a limited time, our listeners get up to 25% off their entire order. Just head to cowboycolostrum.com/afterparty and use code afterparty at checkout. That's 25% off when you use code afterparty at cowboycolostrum.com/afterparty. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. So please support our show and tell them our show sent you. Say, I came from Afterparty for the best cows.